Hi, I wanted to take a moment and talk to you about why I've used World War II as such a strong metaphor throughout this book. If you look over my shoulder, you see the place where the war began and where it ended. You see the Arizona Memorial and Battleship Row, which is really the place that World War II began for people in the United States. Atrocious day, thousands of lives lost, an event that's forever seared into the memory of our country. Just next to that, you see the Battleship Missouri, which is where the war officially ended in Tokyo Bay in the summer of 1945, as the Japanese signed an unconditional surrender document on the deck of that ship. As we think about the war, this was a war that was really black and white, good versus evil, the kingdom of God versus the kingdom of darkness. And the leaders of the war were merchants of hope. Winston Churchill, Franklin Roosevelt, they kept everyone else believing, much like you do, keep everyone believing that we can stay in this war and that we can win the thing. But the interesting thing about the war is that we really didn't have superior equipment. The Germans had better tanks than we did. The Japanese had better airplanes than we did, pretty much throughout the war. How we won that war was through productivity. We actually had more manpower. We had more and better food than they did. Our farms outproduced their farms. We were able to outproduce their factories. Their tanks may have been better, but we just blew up more of their tanks and kept producing more of our own. And as this productivity advantage began to catch up, the momentum of the war changed and eventually we won. And this is very much like what's going on in the world today, wherever the gospel is going forward and we're winning the battle. If you go into Asia, Africa, Latin America, the most dominant force there is Christianity. The thing that's growing faster than Islam in the rest of the world is the gospel of Jesus Christ. But it's growing through the rapid multiplication of churches. If you go to Nepal, where people are actively persecuted, some of my friends have been there in jail 25 times for their faith. You go to a place like that, it's church multiplication that's allowing us to win the battle. Churches like yours multiplying themselves. One of the things that we know about churches is that when they're brand new, they tend to evangelize better than when they've been around for a while, and that in itself is a good reason for us to multiply new churches. We just believe in saturation church planting. If you look around your neighborhood, you look around your community, how many churches are there? How many empty spots are there? You look at the competition that we're up against, all the glitz and the glamour that's television and everything that's on the internet, and the raw sexuality that's penetrated our culture, the things that worry us as Christians. We know that it's love and tight relationships, people in organic friendships that change the world. And we can do that. We can do it by starting millions, and I said millions, of small churches. You know, it may be something that you do right down the road from your own church. It may be something you do with some people who are a little different than you do. It may be something that you're going to do in a place that's far, far, far away on the other side of the world. Let me just give you an example to close this thing. I have some friends in Austria, about 5 of them, who found Jesus in our church. I've got 4 friends at home in my church that are covenanted to pray with those people that we can start a new church from our church in their community in Austria. We don't know where the leaders are coming from. We don't know where the money's coming from. We don't know where we're going to meet, but we're praying, and recently we've had a little tiny breakthrough. It's those breakthroughs that we're following. It's that faith in the Lord and what He's called us to do, believing that if we intend to go out and intentionally go out and make disciples in all the nations, we will make disciples of all the nations. Hope you enjoy the book. I loved writing it. Hope it blesses you. God bless.